Alright, what's good everyone? I'm really excited today because today I'm bringing you a new video series called the Fundamentals series. And what we'll be going through is the basic form for the various exercises that we do in the gym and even outside of the gym. So starting off the series with the hip hinge. Well, let me start by saying why is the hip hinge so important? Well, starting from exercises, we do so many exercises that involve the hip hinge, like the deadlift, the dumbbell row, even tricep extensions and hip thrusts. And when we talk about outside of exercises, we often use the hip hinge for daily activities, or you should be using it for daily activities like picking up a bag of groceries. Now I will cover the brief overview of how the movement looks like. Alright, let's begin. Starting with step 1, feet shoulder width position and legs straighten but not locked out. Okay, don't lock it out like this. Step 2, we're going to lean our body forward. So we're going to hinge at the hip and lean the body forward. Now I'm about at 45 degrees now, and I want to get my body parallel to the ground. So you're going to feel resistance here, and to overcome that, you're going to move your hips backwards or stick your ass backwards out like this. And this is going to help you to go lower. And as you can see, my legs are still straightened. My back still straight. I'm going to continue to go lower and lower and lower until I can touch the ground. From here, I'm going to use the strength from my hamstrings to pull myself back up. So the hamstrings are going to contract. And then from here, the glutes are going to be used to squeeze and lock out the hips. So let me do that again. Leaning forward until you hit about 40 degrees, 45 degrees. Bring your hips back. Lean forward some more. Straighten your back. This is the harder part, to straighten the back. Keep it straight, touch the ground, come back up using your hamstrings and glutes to lock out. And that is the overview of the movement. The essence of the movement is just to bend at your hips while keeping your back and your legs straight. So I want you to try this for yourself. Go in front of a mirror and try the hip hinge. Try to see where you go wrong. Usually when I ask my clients to do the hip hinge, they are either able to keep their legs straight but not their back, or their back straight but not their legs. For example, when I ask them to pick up a dumbbell, they are able to keep their backs and their legs straight all the way up to about 45 degrees, and that's when they try to reach for dumbbell and they end up bending their back just like this, so rounding the back, and this can be very, very dangerous. Alternatively, when I ask them to pick up a dumbbell, they can keep their backs straight, but when I ask them to go lower and lower, they start to do this, bending at the knees. Well, what can you do about these problems then? If you're having trouble keeping your back straight, one of the cues you can remember is to stick out your chest. So sticking out your chest like this prevents lumbar and thoracic rounding as you're leaning forward. So the next time you're trying it, when you're leaning forward like this, as you try to lean forward, to prevent this from happening, you stick out your chest. So what this does is it straightens your back, as you can see, and allows you to go down lower while having your back straight. Now if this is not helpful, the next drill is going to be helpful for you guys, and that is where this stick comes in handy. So all you do is find a stick from home and you're going to try this drill. Now we're going to do this drill by having the stick behind our back, and I'm going to show you the contact points in a second, but basically the upper part of the stick will be behind your head, the middle part will be behind your upper back, and the lower part will be behind your hips or your sacrum. So I'm going to show you the contact points. So turn around. So as you can see, the contact points were as mentioned before, and this is useful because what you have to do is you're going to have to bend forward while having your body in contact with all of these points at all times. So let me show you what it looks like. As I lean forward, as you can see that the stick is still touching my sacrum, it's still touching my head, all the way as I lean forward. On the other hand, if you tend to bend your upper back, what's going to happen is, with the stick, as you can see, your upper body is going to deviate away from the stick. So try out the stick drill for yourself, but as you're doing the drill and you still realize that you're stuck at certain points, then most likely you're facing one of these two issues. The first one is that you're not pushing your hips back enough as you're leaning forward. When you push your hips back as you're leaning forward, it helps to counterbalance the weight of your body so that you don't have to round your upper back in order to lean forward more without feeling off balance. The next one, of course, would be that your hamstrings are too tight. And hamstring flexibility is so important in a hip hinge. I've done a video in the past on how to stretch your hamstrings and all the other lower body muscles, and I've linked that in the card above. Now that we've got the basic movement down, what can we do to reinforce the good habits? We can start with a simple exercise of just touching the ground. If you're doing it right, even without any weights, you can get a good hamstring workout from this. If your lower back is weak, you will even be able to feel it in this exercise. Of course, the next thing that you can do is load it up. Do a simple deadlift, either with a dumbbell, or when the gym opens, do it with a barbell. Finally, you can also do a one-legged version of this. And this is really going to test not just your hamstring flexibility, strength, it's also going to challenge your balance. Alright, that's the end of the video for today, and I'm really excited to bring you guys the next few videos in this fundamental series, which I'll be posting every week, so stay tuned guys. Thank you so much for watching this video, and I want to take a moment to show some appreciation to my 23 subscribers, because you guys really mean a lot to me. And anyone else watching this, if you enjoy this sort of content, do subscribe to my channel because I'll be posting it every week. Now, as usual, if you have any questions, do DM me on my Instagram, and I hope to see you guys in the next video. See you!